For category 6, we're going to look at English words ending in A-N-T, and there's about 66 very useful words in this category. So as an example, let's start off with something like important. So you can see here ending in A-N-T. So the rule to convert all of these words into Spanish is that A-N-T becomes ante in Spanish. So you're just adding an E onto the end, and the pronunciation is ante. So if we had important, that would become importante. Important, importante. Here's another word ending in ANT, distant. So knowing that important goes to importante, how do you think you would say distant in Spanish? Distante. Elegant. Elegante. Let's have a look at this one. So we have le, gante, elegante. Tolerant. Tolerante. So we have le, rante, tolerante. What about irritant? Irritante. Did you see the double R and catch how you have to roll that once again? So we have ir, when you roll straight away, irritante, irritante. How would you say lubricant in Spanish? Lubricante. Instant. Instante. Ignorant. Ignorante. Militant. Militante. Let's have a look at this one. So we have militante, militante. How would you say vibrant in Spanish? Vibrante. Did you catch this VI as a B sound? Vibrante. So not vibrante, but vibrante. How would you say elephant in Spanish? Elefante. Brilliant. Brillante. Did you catch the double L? Remember in the last lessons, we looked at how this double L in ella had that sound of a Y. So here we have another word where it's a double L here. So you treat that as though it were a Y, and the word then becomes in Spanish, brillante. How would you say intolerant? Intolerante. So you have intolerante, intolerante. Now it's time to add some more glue, and by that you know that I mean some more filler words so that we can start to make more and more phrases. So before we had this phrase of for me, which was para mí. The word for him in Spanish is él. So for him would be para él. How do you think you might say for her? Para ella. What about it's something very important for him? Es algo muy importante para él. So it is something, es algo very important, muy importante for him, para él. How would you say it's something quite important for him, for her, and for me? Es algo bastante importante para él, para ella, y para mí. Let's break it down. So it's something, es algo, quite important. So quite is bastante importante. For him, para él, for her, para ella, and for me, y para mí. The word for house in Spanish is casa. So how do you think you might say, it's a rather elegant house? Es una casa bastante elegante. So of course, elegant is an ANT word here, so it's very easy to switch it straight into Spanish with elegante. And you have, it es una casa. We're using una here because casa is a feminine word because it ends in A. So instead of un casa, which would be incorrect, we want these two to match. So the A here is the reason we have una instead of un. So una casa bastante elegante. I'm a little curious to know if that last one caught you out, because it illustrates a very important difference between how we talk in English and how we talk in Spanish. So in Spanish, first we say what it is, and then we describe it. So as a very simple example, in English, we would typically say a big house, where in Spanish, they would say a house big. So let's break it down here. First, this is the thing, right? It's a house. So that's what it is. And then we say some type of descriptive thing about it. So it's big, right? Could be small or red or whatever, but something descriptive about it. So in English, we have this kind of order where we say a kind of a description and then what it is, a big house. But as I mentioned to you, in Spanish, it works the opposite way typically. So they would say a house and then big. So it's very important to be aware of that because it is a fundamental difference. Going back to the previous slide, try to remember in Spanish, first we say what it is, a house, and then we describe it, big, small, red, little, whatever it may be. So, una casa grande, that would be the correct way to say it in Spanish. So we have what it is, una casa, and then describing it, grande. So if we go back to the previous question, okay, so we have, it's a rather elegant house. First in Spanish, we must say it's a house, and then we describe it. We say something descriptive about that. So that's why we had the word order as es una casa, so that's what it is. And then we have our descriptive thing here, bastante elegante. Es una casa bastante elegante. So if it caught you out, don't worry too much about it because I really didn't explain that to you before. But I want to really make this point now because it is extremely important when you're speaking Spanish that you have this order of words in order to make your Spanish sound natural. So always remember, unlike English where we have, it's a rather elegant what, right? We haven't said what it is yet. We have to wait until the end to know what it is. In Spanish, it's the opposite. So you would say, it's a house. So that's what it is. And then we describe it rather elegant. Es una casa bastante elegante. How would you say it was a very vibrant house? Fue una casa muy vibrante. So it was, fue, a house, una casa, very vibrant, muy vibrante. To say a little in Spanish is un poco, un poco. And what I hear used even more than that is poquito. So here we have po, qui, to. So a little can be un poco, but I more frequently hear un poquito. So you can choose to use either one. So how would you say, he is a little ignorant? Es un poquito ignorante, or es un poco ignorante. So that's it for category 6, and I'll see you in the next video where we'll be into category 7.